705.
With the power of Tandem HR, you are in the fast lane on Main Street with Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs. Now, the champion of networking, the advocate of jobs, the guru of business, your host, Shalom Klein.
We are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. And business, we talk a lot about business here. You are on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. And remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you are there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information that you won't want to miss. It's a live show. You could call us at 312-642-5600. That phone number again is 312-642-5600. Get Down to Business is powered by our friends at Tandem HR. They are your solution center. You can reach them at 630-928-0510, 630-928-0510. You can also visit them on the web at tandemhr.com. This week, we'll be joined by guests from Manufacturing Renaissance. Kurt Summers, City Treasurer of Chicago, and Chris Everett of Everett Wealth Solutions, along with the new Playmaker Spotlight. I'll be sharing some networking tips at the end of the program. That's right, you're listening to Get Down to Business. We're powered by Tandem HR. Check them out, tandemhr.com. First up on the program, I've got Dan here from Manufacturing Renaissance, an amazing program that I feel very fortunate to have had the opportunity to visit at the Austin Polytechnical Academy in Chicago. Really fascinating program. It's an honor to have you, Dan. Thanks for joining me in the studio.
Glad to be here.
So, Dan, tell us why you think there's a need for manufacturing training and job creation in schools like Austin Polytech.
Well, Shalom, about 30 years ago, our school system began to deindustrialize. Everybody began to see work of making things and work in production as demeaning, dangerous, dirty, and nobody wanted their children to go into this field. About 10 years ago, 15 years ago, manufacturing began to shift a lot of work offshore, but that was low-skilled work. It wasn't all work. So our companies moved to doing more higher value-added work, making more complex products. And immediately they began to find they couldn't find the talent necessary to do the work. So nationwide, there's 600,000 jobs in manufacturing, paying on average $75,000 a year.
So these are good jobs.
These are the best jobs. These are jobs that are involving technology, teamwork, critical thinking, math. They're on factories these days. I was in a factory this last week, Winslow Gear. It's an art gallery, literally. You can eat off the floors. There's music you can hear as the machines and the robotic-based machines hum.
So let me be direct. Austin is not viewed as one of the nicest neighborhoods in Chicago. Right. So you're telling me that graduates of the program at Austin Polytech, they have potential to not just make a minimum wage, but to actually make money and really be successful professionals.
In the Austin campus, we have the Manufacturing Connect program, and our graduates, last year, Rico made $75,000 as a CNC operator. Alex West, who's out of 3 years out of high school in the Austin community, is now the second in charge of a small manufacturing company, has the key to open the factory, just bought a 2-flat and is raising his 2 children there.
So Manufacturing Connect, you're helping with the training. What about the actual career placement?
Well, we do everything. When a kid comes in as a freshman, they immediately begin to go on tours to companies so they become aware of what the world of modern manufacturing looks like. They take engineering courses. They take machining courses. By the time they're juniors, we are sending them on internships, summer jobs, job shadowing experiences. So they extensively have an understanding of what goes into manufacturing.
So tell us some of the numbers, some of the success numbers. How many people have come through the program? How many internships and summer jobs have you been able to be involved in?
Well, I think our students have had something like 280, paid internships and summer jobs. We also emphasize our students not only getting a high school diploma, but they're also getting nationally recognized credentials in metalworking. And these are portable credentials, which means the kid has these credentials. They can go any place in the country and get a great job. We have like 180 students who've received over 290 nationally recognized credentials in metalworking.
Our listeners know I like to talk a lot about entrepreneurship. You're involved in entrepreneurial education, really, because you're teaching skills that are needed, certainly in the workforce, but you're positioning your students, the young men and women, to be able to move on successfully and really take charge of their life, which is totally incredible. So, Dan, is Manufacturing Renaissance, Manufacturing Connect, are you a nonprofit, a business, or are you actually a part of the Chicago public school system?
Oh, we're a not-for-profit. We're independent. We work extensively with government here and around the country. We work with labor. We work with companies. We have over 80 companies that have been a partner with this one program in the Austin campus. And let me tell you one other thing. A huge issue is not only skilled work in machinists, but also is aging owners in manufacturing companies. We have the problem in machining is mirrored and is the same as the problem in ownership of companies. 99% of the companies in manufacturing in the state of Illinois are white-owned. The owners have moved from the city into the suburbs, and it's now time for them to retire, and their kid doesn't want to go back in the ghetto. Or their kid wants, if they want to go in business, they want to go in finance. What we're working at is raising the next generation of leaders in manufacturing in all aspects. So we constantly emphasize to our young people the opportunities that are available in owning companies as well as working for companies. So we're totally committed to entrepreneurship and make that as a fundamental part of our program in the school.
So you have the program in Austin. Tell us about some of the other initiatives they're working on, and tell us what's next. This sounds like an incredible model. Is there any chance that the Manufacturing Connect program will be brought to other schools in the Chicago public school system?
Yeah, absolutely. We're now in discussions with Chicago public schools and to come into another high school on the northwest side. We're currently working with 200 eighth graders at Northwest Middle School, introducing, and that's where we need to go. We need to go even earlier than high school to begin to excite young people about the possibilities in these exciting careers in manufacturing. So
what about in Evanston, outside of the Chicago borders?
In Evanston, we've met with the team there. We actually designed a new metalworking shop and designed their equipment and gave them a curriculum to teach advanced machining in their school. But we're eager to, we've been focused a lot on Austin. We've done a handful of other schools and programs in one way or another, including both in Illinois and also in Michigan. But we're eager to talk to other people about bringing this kind of program into their school, because this program can connect any public school or any school at all, public or private, with the manufacturing sector.
What I find amazing about this program, Manufacturing Renaissance, once again, we're talking with Dan Swinney here at on Get Down to Business, really fantastic public-private partnership.
That's
and
right.
So many people view labor as an issue that Democrats are involved with, and manufacturing, it's Republicans. This is really a bipartisan issue. This is a good partnership between the areas, and you're involved in training in the inner city, which is incredible. So you have so many dynamics over here, and you're filling a need. There are jobs that are sitting unfilled for so long, and it's no secret the crime that exists in some of these inner city neighborhoods, and you are addressing that need by providing the training, giving these young men and women the opportunity to have an excellent education in the trades where they will actually be able to make real money and give back to society, which is totally and completely incredible. So how long has the program been in existence?
Well, the school opened in 2007. I founded the school, but we founded it as a public school. First graduating class was 2011, so it's been about 10 years.
Amazing. And it's you've been rising through the ranks quickly, and clearly have the attention of Chicago Public Schools is now talking about future programs and future sites. That's an amazing, amazing accomplishment. Actually, in just a short while, we're going to be chatting with Kurt Summers, Chicago City Treasurer, and I know he's a big fan of these public-private partnerships and finding ways to bring communities together. So hopefully we'll be able to continue that conversation. But Dan, believe it or not, we are rapidly running out of time. And I want to make sure our listeners have the opportunity to connect with you, find out ways that they can support Manufacturing Renaissance, and maybe even take the opportunity. I encourage our listeners, take the opportunity to tour, to get in touch with you, to find out more, because once people see it, they won't believe it. But frankly, they're going to want to get involved and find ways to work together. So how can people get a hold of you?
Two ways. You can contact us on our website, www.mfgren.org. My email is dswinney@mfgren.org. And my telephone number is area code 773-278-5418, extension 13.
Fantastic. Once again, that website is mfgren.org. Manufacturing Renaissance, really transforming this model of education, trades, helping kids throughout city of Chicago and beyond. And I anticipate this will be a model that can be replicated many, many, many times over. So, Dan, thanks for the great work that you're doing. We'll be sure to have you back on, follow your progress, and once again, encourage our listeners to get a hold of you. Visit the website and learn more at mfgren.org. After the break, we're going to check in with executive business coach and award-winning Vistage Chair Dick Smith. You're listening to Get Down to Business, the show that is all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship. Coming up on the program, we've got Kurt Summers, Chicago City Treasurer, Chris Everett, who's going to be sharing some information about Social Security rule changes. Get Down to Business is powered by Tandem HR, your solution center. Check them out, tandemhr.com. We're also brought to you in part by Everett Wealth Solutions, a registered investment advisor and financial planning firm, a fiduciary advisor that helps you create your personal wealth. You can call them, 708-771-7777. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to Get Down to Business.